Yo, what is going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to the fourth and final locals feature match of the week. Here we are in round 4. I got my man Kaz on the left versus Philly D on the right. Please keep my man Philly D in your thoughts. Send him good vibes. He has been a loyal Dragon Link duelist for as long as I can remember, and we all know what happened to that deck on the ban list. So he's had to pivot, change directions, and he is on a danger tier variant. So we'll see how this one plays out. We're going to see my man Adam lead here with a nice little die roll win going first here. Summoning Princess, special summoning. Okay, let's restart that. Special summoning Princess, activating Con effect to set a Glamour effect, tributing to here, or tributing to go ahead and search to, grabbing Petal and Loci. A little bit of a risky play, but you kind of got to go for it there. It's your only way to a starter. And the nice thing about this line here, he has Primula too. So he gets Primula on field, and he can go for the seed line with hand trap protection, so long as it's a monster. But impermanence is going to be pretty good at kind of shutting things down here, stopping the Dryas from searching. A copy of Sowing. Although, I mean, yeah, I think definitely imperming Dryas there is definitely good. I think ashing Sowing is better, but if you don't have ash and you don't have imperm, I feel like you know, don't always go wrong by hitting the Dryas. Then we're going to see him link into the Dance Peon here, the Plan B, the New Age Anaconda in this deck. And we're going to see him hit absolutely insane off of this. We're going to see him hit Mudon and also Petal. So he'll be able to get the effects of Mudon to go ahead and search a Rikka spell or trap. We're going to see him grab a copy of Sheet, and Petal is going to go ahead and activate here on a new chain to go ahead and search a copy of Snowdrop. So Snowdrop can be a nice little extender here, level modifier, to be able to help go into those Xyz plays. Of course, the monsters that Dance Peon did summon via her effect, they cannot be used as link material this turn, but they can be used as Xyz material, which is kind of nice. He does conveniently have a level 4 engrave, so he can use Dance Peon to target the level 4 engrave and make everything she points to become that level, allow him to go into Strenna to add back a free body. And he does have that Snowdrop in hand, so he will have access to be able to trigger the Strenna now, which is kind of nice. And that'll allow him to get access to Hyperiton if he so desires. But we're going to see him actually tribute over the Dance Peon, which I think this line also kind of makes sense too. It's going to kind of play around board breakers a little bit, not going for the Hyperiton right away. Making Hyperiton solely on the opponent's turn does feel really good. It doesn't feel that good though when they Mystic Mine you, and you could have had the opportunity to like get Hyperiton with a spell underneath it. But maybe with this particular line, he didn't have a way to get a spell underneath it based on the cards he had available, and he had to use the Con effect to set early. So maybe there's just no out to mine anyways. At least no direct way to stop at turn 1, so you might as well just play a little safer and not go for the Hyperiton and just trigger it on their turn, you know, by using Princess to tribute the Strenna and to negate something. And we do see our, I almost said Dragon Link player. I'm just so used to saying he's the Dragon Link player, but now he's the Danger Tier player. He's joined the tier army, which seems to continue to grow and grow and grow, and will only keep growing post Darkwing Blast and Magnificent Maven. So we're going to see him use Droplet here, sending off the Gizmek Orochi, the Serpentron Sky Slasher. That's going to negate the Teardrop. And we're going to see him activate Planet to go ahead and search out a copy of Merly. And then we're going to see him activate Danger Nessie. And we're going to see something pretty tragic here. We're going to see him roll the dice, 1 through 6. Wait a second. I'm thinking of a different moment in time, which we'll get to later. But when there's 3 cards to pick from, rolling a 6-sided dice always works very, very well. So we're going to go ahead and see him use Princess here to negate the Merly by tributing the Nessie, which is an interesting way to go about it. We're going to see him go ahead and use another Nessie in hand, and he hits the Nessie this time around. 50-50 chance there, so we'll see Nessie activate in the grave to go ahead and search out a Danger. It's going to be a copy of Mothman. Maybe trying to keep bodies off field to make it a little harder to go for Curious. The Mothman will get hit. He will trigger the effect, allowing both players to draw and discard. He'll discard Havness, and it looks like he drew Rite of Aramesir off of the Mothman there, so pretty solid draw. The Havness will resolve now, getting him into Kikalos, and this is why I probably would have preferred to have tributed off the Strenna to be able to negate that Havness. And you also would have been able to negate the Merly too, but now that The opponent gets to kick Kalos. They can kind of get their engine rolling a little bit, which is a little scary. And, yeah, I mean, it's good. I think it's still good here because you can use Sheet to take the kick Kalos here to make it so that he can't use the on-field effect to pop and summon out. And then you also get your monster negate on field to be able to stop whatever fusion play they might have next. And we're going to see exactly that here. We're going to see him go ahead and use Sheet to tribute Strenna to target the kick Kalos to take. Shredder effect will basically tag into now the Sacred Tree Beast Hyperiton, which is a Omni Negate for whatever type of card it has attached to it. Negates and destroys. Negates activations, destroys. Importantly, only negates on the opponent's turn. I wish it negated on both turns. It'd be a really good way to answer Nib, but unfortunately it is not. Although I guess Strenna and Princess are already really good ways to answer Nibiru anyways, so we don't really need that, I guess. But we're going to see him activate right now. We're going to go ahead and get into Fateful and Token. We know he has the Shiren in hand, which was added off the kick Kalos. And he still has access to this Fateful Adventure, which is kind of nice. He can go ahead and add a monster and discard. But I can't recall if the discard... I believe the discard is for cost. Unless it's part of the effect, which... Yeah, so he will go ahead and add Griffin Rider. Okay, so it must be part of the effect. I haven't played the adventure cards in a long while, so I couldn't remember offhand. So we're going to see Hyperiton negate the Shiren. And then it looks like on the summon of Griffin Rider, we're going to see him activate Fateful to go ahead and search out the equip spell. Of course, it's going to be going for the Draco back, or the the Draco back. And you can use Draco back here to go ahead and bounce something back. He also has Gizmek and Rochi in the graveyard still, which can come out to try to contest the board. Hyperiton is only at 2,600, which actually is going to be a little too big for him to get over right now, unless he uses the Draco back. And I believe Teardrop only has, I think I want to say like 2,000 defense. Or might have 28. It has 28 defense. So we're going to see him use the Draco back, bounce back the Teardrop, having the most attack, and probably realizing that once the turn is over, Droplet will no longer be negating it, and then it's just a free tribute to contest the Adventurer engine. So clearing that while he can. End phase Petal will return. We'll see no response from the Griffin Rider for that. And then we're going to see him pass turn. Dark Ruler set in the back line. That's going to kind of go in here, basically acting as a nice little imperm. I also see Rivalry, Sunseed Genius Loki, and a Glamour in hand for our Rikka player. We're going to see him start by activating Petal. Importantly, remembering to chain Hyperiton to attach. One thing that I low-key tend to forget. I always remember to attach a spell to it. I've never ever attached a trap to Hyperiton. Any Rikka players, if you ever attached a trap to your Hyperiton, you have to let me know how that experience went. I've yet to experience it. I want to so badly. It's never happened yet. And I don't know if it ever will happen. It'd be really great, though, to be able to negate a trap with that card, I'll tell you what. We're going to see him get Mudon. Mudon will get the field spell in play. Or not the field spell, the Glamour. And then we're going to see Glamour go ahead and tribute off the token to go ahead and search 2. Getting a copy of Princess and Carrot Weight. Carrot Weight, low-key clutch card. I've been playing Carrot Weight over the second Primula in my deck list for quite some time. Very, very nice card in the grind game, especially if you play 3 Strenna. Helps to make more rank 4s later on. And at 1900, it is a very nice target to be able to search late game to help pile on damage. We're going to see Strenna activate, detaching to add back the Snowdrop to make a more aggressive push here. Snowdrop is going to go ahead and tribute over the Mudon and go for the Loki alongside of it. In fact, target itself to make everything level 8. And can go for a nice little Elsei play here. Because you don't want to tribute the kick Kalos with Teardrop, as that will trigger its effect. Which is a little counterintuitive. That's one thing I don't like about Teardrop, is the fact that it just triggers tier effects for the free. We're going to see him activate Elsei, calling Slifer the Sky Dragon. And we'll see him go ahead and not hit Slifer. It'll be Twin, and then activate the effect of Elsei to go ahead and return the kick Kalos back to the extra deck. And then we'll see him swing in over the Griffin Rider and not attacking with anything else because his opponent is under Dark Ruler, so he will not be taking any damage. And we'll see him just go ahead and go to end phase there. End phase, we will see Gizmek Orochi the Serpentron Sky Slasher activate its effect in the graveyard to go ahead and special summon itself by banishing the top 8 cards of the deck. And we'll see him just end on that. He'll draw Terraforming for turn. Draw phase, we're going to see Rivalry of the Warlords. Have fun with a machine on your field playing Tearlament. And he can technically try to pop the Rivalry with Gizmek. But of course, you know, Hyperion will have something to say about that. We'll see him activate Terraforming now. Pretty good card off the top. Mystic Mind would kind of go crazy here, but he's going to go for Primeval Planet, Perlarino. We'll activate that planet over top of the other one. Go ahead and search out a copy of Havness. And then Gizmek effect. Banishing 3 from the extra deck. You attempt to destroy, leave the Hyperion, which I think Gizmek maybe only destroys monsters. It's been a very long time since I've read that card as well. But either way, Hyperion will negate that. It does target one face-up. Oh, it did. One face-up monster in the field. For a second, the face-up card. One face-up monster. So going after the Hyperion. And then we're going to see Right get added to hand via Fateful. Or Enchantress getting added to hand via Fateful. Havness effect will attempt to activate here. And he'll go ahead and tribute the Strenna for Princess to negate Havness, stopping him from fusion summoning. That'll trigger Strenna. Go ahead and summon out the Teardrop that was bounced back to the extra deck the previous turn. And we're going to see our tier player admit defeat there. And we are into game 2, guys. Quick shout out to Imperium Duelist. Check them out at the link below. They did come out with a lot of brand new products recently. And if you want to support the channel and save money in the process, don't forget to use my discount code WinterKills10 off at checkout to save on your order. And if you guys are buying anything on TCG Player, don't forget to use my affiliate link I have. It's in the description of all my videos. Anytime you guys shop and check out using that link, a small bit of the revenue from your purchase will go right back into the channel and helps out a ton. So, we will see Tier lead off with the Rite of Eremysir in game 2 here. Now, the adventure stuff is something I feel like we don't really see all that often in Tier. I feel like it's probably just not that good, honestly. Rhino Heart is one hell of a card. Being able to normal summon things like Merly, also kind of nice, I guess, just for an Omni Negate. I mean, I guess. Either way, we're going to see him go ahead and discard a Gizmek, search the Griffin, and then, you know, go ahead and search out Fateful. And then we're going to see him set a trap card, which I can't necessarily tell what that one was. I don't know if it was Eradicator or not. It's Anti-Spell Fragments, similar, and Super Poly. So set Super Poly and Anti-Spell. We're going to see a Cosmic Cyclone chain directly in response to the Anti-Spell. And we'll take the 1,000 cost there. A Griffin Rider will go ahead and be burned immediately to stop the Cosmic, leaving that Anti-Spell in play. And luckily for my friend Adam here, it looks like he doesn't have a super spell heavy hand. So he can get some plays in. But unfortunately, a lot of the plays will end up leading to searching some spells. But Mudon's very flexible in this situation because she can go ahead and grab Sheet. We're going to see Havness go ahead and activate its effect on the effect of Mudon. He will hit him early. And he can attempt a fusion. But there's that DD Crow to go ahead and turn that off. And now Mudon will resolve, going to add a Rikka Speller Trap. Can't necessarily go for Con right now. You have to wait a turn to be able to get, you know, a card off of it. So you can just go directly to the source and go for Sheet. Anti-Spell putting in a decent amount of work here, but not completely cutting off our Rikka player. We're going to see him normal summon Sunseed Genius Loci. Looking to see if there's a possible response here. Yeah, looking at the extra deck right now, kind of a tell that you might have Super Poly. You know, seeing what his Super Poly targets require. Gonna go ahead and link into the Dryas. And the nice thing here is he doesn't even need Sowing to resolve necessarily to be able to get into a Link 2, because he does have 2 defense position monsters that the Dryas can just attack into. So one of the things I love the most about Dryas is that none of his effects are hard once per turn. And it can just straight up do things like this in the battle phase to get a free body. We'll see him attack into the Havness, take the damage, trigger the effect, go ahead and gain it back, and summon. And we're going to see him bring out Thrasher. Thrasher will go ahead and target the Dryas to then gain 800, and then he'll attack into the Havness. And then that will play into Super Poly there. It's unfortunate, but there's really no way around it. He'll go ahead and go right into a copy of Garura. The Dracoback will equip itself here. I think that can get around Anti-Spell. Now our tier player is top decking though. And Sheet is in the back line. I believe Sowing is also in the back line as well, having to be set because of the Anti-Spell. We're going to see Tier start things off by activating Fateful to go ahead and search a monster. Discarding Enchantress, activating Griffin Rider effect. Rivalry of the Warlords could go insane here, and there it is. Shutting off the Griffin Rider effect for the rest of the turn since he did attempt to use it. So Griffin Rider will not be able to summon now. And has to choose, well, unless he keeps the Garura, then he can definitely summon it because they're both winged beasts. So if he wants to get 2 bodies on field, that's the play. But if you want to keep the Dracoback online, to be able to bounce the Rivalry to try to play again after this resolves, you got to keep Fairy. You got to let the Griffin not resolve now at this point, which is going to turn off that Omni Negate for the turn. The Garura will trigger since it was sent to the graveyard. He'll draw 1. I believe it was a Destrudo, I think it's a Destrudo. There's Destrudo and Griffin Rider in hand. Has an Enchantress in the grave. Gizmek Orochi also still in the grave too. So a lot of graveyard effects right now. Can't you really utilize them. But he will be forced to use Dracoback before anything else to go ahead and bounce back the Rivalry. But Rivalry is pretty much done all it's needed to do right now. We're going to see him activate the Enchantress effect to go ahead and banish the search. Copy of Right. And we'll see what the move is going to be here. I mean, he has access to a lot of kind of free extenders right now. You've got Gizmek. You've got Destrudo. And we'll see him use the Gizmek here. I'm not necessarily sure where this is going to lead outside of just summoning big bodies for the sake of trying to apply pressure. The Banish 8 there, looking at I saw a couple Shirens. I don't know if that was all of them, but not looking too hot there. Could also summon the Destrudo, but I really don't think there's like anything in the extra deck right now that's worth going into to like summon the Destrudo right now. If there's a way he could possibly make it a level 2, that'd be kind of nice, but it looks like he is going to go for the Destrudo. Paying half life there to go into a dark. And there is a DD Crow in our opponent's graveyard here, so we can go ahead and take that. And then we'll see him link everything off into Curious, Dark Spellcaster Machine, and Winged Beast. So legal Curious there, love to see it. And I imagine he'll probably just send a tier name to get that engine online. Dumping Merly. And now, well, yeah, it would be Chainlink 2 Merly, Chainlink 1 mandatory effective Curious to mill 3. So we'll see what he's going to go ahead and put back. The Garura is out of the extra deck, so if he wanted to recycle that, he would have to go for a Dragostapelia. We'll hit a Solic off of the Curious, but should have resolved the fusion first, so going to correct that. So he's going to go ahead and summon out Kit Kalos. And I assume he... Did he just not use the Solic? It looks like, yeah, that's a Solic engrave. But I believe he only... Because like, he could have just gotten a search or send, and can't activate the right under the anti-spell, which this is caught. Nice anti-spell. So I think he could have just searched 2 there, unless I missed something, because he would have gotten the Kit Kalos search and the Solic, but for getting that there, I mean, it happens. It is what it is. A lot of effects happening there in rapid succession. I think the only thing that necessarily he could have gotten like a Shiren, assuming that there's a copy in the deck still after that Gizmek banish, and he could have tried to continue to extend there. But he's going to go ahead and have to pass turn. Mudon has that 2400 defense, and I don't think Curious or Kit Kalos can get over that. And we're going to see him activate Sowing, pay a rack. He won't gain it back just yet to go ahead and summon out the Sunseed Genius Loci. And this can get him into another Dryas. And he does have the Sowing in the grave to protect in the battle phase. To go ahead and be able to gain and summon, since, you know, both of his opponent's monsters are in attack position. Think the Havness in hand is known. That was added off of the Soliac. So again, I believe he forgot a search there, which could have made a possible difference. And we're going to go ahead and see him link into Dryas. No effect, assuming that the other Dryas, if he's playing two, has been sided out at this point. And now, I think the next step here is most likely just to go to the battle phase, right? Take 23, protect from destruction with the Sowing. And that'll trigger the effect, allow it to gain back the life points, and go ahead and summon out healer effect. To go ahead and target the Dryas to gain a nice little 300 life points here. Every little bit counts. Unfortunately, there's no Jasmine on the field to be able to trigger here, but it is what it is. We're going to see him activate Sheet now. This is kind of a nice play. Tributing the healer to go ahead and take the Curious. And what's cool about this is Bengal Answer is kind of generic to be able to make. Well, if it takes 2+ plants, that's fine too, because the monster that Sheet takes becomes a plant. So he's able to go into a Bengal Answer for free. Yeah, 2+ plant monsters, so Curious acting as a plant in this case because of Sheet. We're going to see him activate Bengal Answer to go ahead and bounce the Kikalos back, taking 2,300 for that. Technically only taking 2,000 because of the help of Healer. He'll attempt to use Havness that will get negated by the Princess, tributing off the Mudon, getting a little value out of that monster negate there. Top decking another right for our tier player. And that's kind of unfortunate here. But he will be able to use the effect of Fateful to go ahead and search a monster and discard. Discarding Havness. Havness effect will trigger, putting back the Garura and the Havness to go for Dragostapelia. Now, we know Rivalry is still in the backline, so that'll be a little bit of a roadblock to try to overcome. He's going to activate the Rival, or the right. He'll chain the known Rivalry in response, and now we're into a little bit of a simplified game state here. He'll attack over the Bengal Lancer with the Dragostapelia for 100, and we do have it set evenly, so we're going to see him fire the set evenly now. His opponent will only have to banish one because of the amount of cards that he had on field. So we're just getting rid of the Fateful, but, you know, it kind of turns off a free searcher. The card was set in main phase 2, but he said thinking in battle phase, so obviously couldn't have set the card in the battle phase, so that's why it was reset after the evenly. Just to kind of clear up some confusion. We're going to see him activate Bengal Lancer here. I think banishing 4 link once in the graveyard, which is a cool thing that you can do. So long as the links total rating equal 4. Bengal Lancer will just come out to block a little bit more damage. It'll get banished this time. Passing turn here. No Petal in circulation just yet. So no end phase recursion. Although if the Petal was here in the end phase, the game would probably have ended. Drawing another spell here. And, you know, a Legal Knight not doing a whole lot. There's the Petal. Dragostapelia running it over. End phase trigger. Summon itself back. Has Con, but can't play it just yet. Going to be a little bit slow. He'll attempt to use Petal. It'll get hit with Dragostapelia. Passing turn there. Con set. Battle phase attack over. Can't do much else here. One player with anti-spell. One player with rivalry. End phase Petal will come back. Drawing for turn. Flipping up Con. Now if he wants to be able to use Petal, he'll have to get the Dragostapelia off the field because it does have that counter on it still. So Con will set Glamour directly from the deck. But it cannot be used. But he will have a Snowdrop in hand. Very, very clutch to be able to get rid of the Dragostapelia. To go ahead and summon out both itself and a Princess. Now is free to use the effect of Petal to go ahead and search since Dragostapelia is off the board. He'll add a copy of Princess here. And can now basically kind of establish a Strenna. Get a Mudon back. You know, trigger the Strenna here. And just kind of get into this really nice mid-range game that Rikka can get into and really thrives in. We're going to see him activate Strenna, detaching the Princess, adding back the Sheet. And this is one of the best parts about this grindy aspect of the deck is, you know, if you play, you know, 2 to 3 Strenna, you can keep recycling that Monster Negate through Princess, that Widow Anchor, Snatch Steal through Sheet, and the Field Spell, just constantly picking about their field. adding things back and tagging into bigger monsters on the opponent's turn. Really nice grind game that can get into. We're going to see our tier player go to battle phase, attack over the pedal. End phase, it'll come back. Passing turn. Glamour now activating the set one. Tributing off the Griffin Rider, adding 2, adding Primula, adding Princess. Primula will not get a trigger here, unfortunately, when you tribute an opponent's monster, because Primula strictly states if a monster you control is tributed. We're going to see him go battle phase here, trying to swing in for 2,000. Well, I believe this would... Yeah, I think this is going to be... Yeah, he'll take the 2,000 there. Pretty low on life because of that Destrudo earlier on. We're going to see him normal summon Merly, activating Nessie in hand. Hit a 5. This is what I was talking about. 5, 5, 6. And at this point, I mean, if time was coming down especially, this would be the best point to just forego the die rolling and just pick a random card. So Nessie will get to summon and draw here, hitting a Zephyros out of the hand. Activating Planet, but remember, Anti-Spell is up. This Anti-Spell is almost doing more harm than it is doing good right now for our tier player. A lot of good cards in the graveyard right now, but they're all out of the loop because of Rivalry, and we're going to see our tier player scoop there. Spell next turn, Enchantress, which gets a spell. So, yeah, that Anti-Spell really doing more harm than good. So, that's going to do for this match. If you guys enjoyed, last but not least, a huge shout-out goes to our Divine Level channel members who are Pony Start, Cadillacs84, Justin Lamb, HE8 Cyber, and Mango. Thank you guys so much, as always, for extremely kind and generous support of this channel.